I would like to pause the discussion briefly and bring into conjunction with the present poem another poem by A.K.Ramanujan, Love Poem for a Wife 2, which is very similar to the present poem and also very different from the present poem. In Love Poem for a Wife 1, it is the speaker's wife who suddenly grows nostalgic for the speaker's past. It is the speaker's wife who suddenly feels that she should share the unshared past of the speaker. Love Poem for a Wife 2 opens with a series of stanzas which adumbrate in a rather stream of consciousness fashion the poet's nostalgia for the lost childhood of his wife, especially located in Kerala with its emerald wilderness, rubber plant, pepper vine, dotted butterfly, crates and gutter snakes. I would like to say something about the crazy aunts, the seven crazy aunts. Kerala was once known as Pen Malayalam. Kerala society for thousands of years was largely matrilineal and in some areas even matriarchal. And you find substrates of this phenomenon in the culture of Kerala even today. A.K. Ramanujan's wife, Molly Daniels, came from Kerala, a land where traditionally women were more important, at least in some areas, at least in some communities, at least in some situations, than men, where grandmothers were more important than grandfathers. In Love Poem for a Wife 2, Love Poem for a Wife 2, A.K. Ramanujan speaks of his wife's grandmother wearing white day and night. Similarly here, the aunts are obviously more important than the uncles, despite being crazy, or perhaps because they were crazy. You begin to recognize me as I pass from ghost to real and back again in the albums of family rumors. What is an album? An album is a book which can be used for preserving stamps, photographs, a book into which you can insert photographs, stamps. But here we have albums of family rumors. What a very original metaphor. The rumors are metaphorized as albums. You begin to recognize me as I pass from ghost to real and back again in the albums of family rumors. What is the poet trying to convey? I would say that despite the fact that the speaker and his wife have been married for quite some time, they don't really understand each other. The speaker remains a mystery to his wife, and his wife struggles to locate the identity, the real identity of the speaker. You begin to recognize me. We met each other, we fell in love, we married. But we don't really know each other. Ultimately, every person is a mystery. More so in the case of a person like A.K. Ramanujan, who was a sensitive soul, who was a sensitive introvert, a man of few words except in some exceptional situations. From ghost to real, I would like to dwell for some time on this. A.K. Ramanujan was a poet of relations. His poetry is densely populated with relations, with relatives, wives, mothers, fathers, cousins, brothers, aunts, grandmothers. A.K. Ramanujan is also a poet of relationships. A relationship is how two or more persons or two or more groups feel towards each other or feel towards one another and interact with each other or one another. This poem demonstrates that he is a poet of relations. It's about his wife, and also that he is a poet of relationships because he analyzes, examines his relationship with his wife. Finally, A.K. Ramanujan is also a poet of realities. I've used the plural form very deliberately. He is always concerned about what is real and what is not real, from ghost to real. What is your real self? How far is your real self real? The questions of realities tormented Ramanujan, especially psychological realities. Thus, it can be argued that Love Poem for a Wife 1 is a quintessential A.K. Ramanujan poem, a poem that deals with relations, relationships, and realities. I would like to bring to your attention the opening of the early Ramanujan poem, Self Portrait. I quote, I resemble everyone but myself. Unquote. If you are analyzing, if you are annotating Love Poem for a Wife 1, especially the part of Love Poem for a Wife 1, which is presently under discussion, you must certainly quote the opening of Self Portrait. I resemble everyone but myself. May I read the entire poem? It's a short poem. It's worth the effort. Self Portrait. I resemble everyone but myself, and sometimes see in shop windows, despite the well known laws of optics, the portrait of a stranger, date unknown, orphan signed in a corner by my father. The poem Self Portrait, in general, and its opening in particular, reveal how passionately the poet was concerned with issues of self, issues of identity, issues of psychological realities, all of which are alluded to in Love Poem for a Wife 1, when A.K. Ramanujan speaks of passing from ghost to real and from real to ghost.